Welcome to another episode of Redesigning Your Relationships Live. I'm one of your hosts, Geovanna Burgess White, with my
And I'm the
co-host.
other host, Yvette Valdenegro, adjusting everything. So excited to be here. Hello, everyone.
If you're watching us for the first time, welcome. We go live every week unless we're on vacation or taking time off, because we do that. And we are live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now Instagram, which we've been working on all the tweaks. And then you can watch our video podcast after exclusively on Spotify with a Q&A feature and a poll feature, which we absolutely love, Spotify. So thank you so much. Today, we are going to be talking about part 2 of our October mini-series. It's all about empowered days, elevating your every day. And today we are going to talk about mind over matter, not matters, typo there. And we're going to talk about mental health. It's important. We've done an episode, actually a few episodes on mental health last year. And it's something that's part of our business, part of our coaching, part of our routine, part of our life, our spouses, partners, kids. Like it's important for us to be talking about it. And when we do these mini series, we're all about statistics. We're all about letting you know what's happening, especially in the world of women. And so this isn't just what Gio and Yvette think. This is actually what's happening in the US, what's happening to you, your friends, your family. And so that's why we wanted to talk about prioritizing mental health for resilience and peace. And if you missed last week, go back, because we love all 4 episodes, but last week was really just about you, your routines, starting and ending your day. And like we told you in the last one, either you're going to love us or hate us. Everything in these episodes revolve around you first. When you prioritize yourself first, every single relationship in your life is a ripple effect. And we're just not used to doing it. Our mindset's not there. Society's still not there. So we're here to tell you that everything that we're talking about in this month and every episode is about you.
I'm always like, I could come in like 3 minutes in and be like, is it good now? Are you good? Are you ready? You do great intros. Okay, so key things that stand out to me: days, empowered days, and elevate your everyday, because this isn't something that is like, oh, I'll do this once a week, months. And again, when people think of self-care, mental health, all that kind of stuff, it's like, oh, a lot of times we think about it once we need it, like we need to pay attention to it, versus it's almost like this is you're changing your oil in your car every 3 months to work 3,000 miles. Like there's routine things that we do. This is in our lives. This is part of what we need to do for ourselves every single day. How we feel and how our mental health is important every single day. It's not something that just, oh, well, today it's important to me, tomorrow it's not. So I love that it's an everyday type of thing.
Yes. And that's why we're trying to help you with being proactive and not reactive. So everything that we told you in episode 1, which we absolutely love, is like baby steps, right? Pick one. Start with 5 minutes. I started with 5 minutes years ago, and now I'm at an hour to 2 hours during the day. And I know you're thinking, like, what are you doing? All the things that we're talking about in these episodes, I'm teaching, and my kids are seeing that too. So it's not just, it is about me, but it is the ripple effect. So mental health, we're just going to go with the definition. It's a person's conditions with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. Okay, that's you. Your emotional, spiritual, psychological well-being. This is real, guys. Like when I say, and every time we look at stats and we put them in, it just blows my mind. It's like I feel like we take 1 step forward and 3 steps back, because this is statistics. This is statistics for women. It's honestly through July of this year, so very up to date. And so 48% of women sought mental health issues. 15% of them said it was difficult to access support services. Okay, so that went up 6% from 2 years ago. So half of us, let's just round up, 50% of women this year have sought out for mental health issues. Like this is happening. I'm gonna let you do the next one. But that statistic alone, like it just blew my mind. And the fact that even though mental health is being talked about, and it's happening, and for men and women, it's still going, the issue is still going up. So we haven't really treated the problem. We're talking about it, but there's not the solution's not there for everybody. Do you
Right.
want to
But
say?
yeah, and I do love that we live in a world. Mental health is a very broad term, and it doesn't have quite that stigma on it anymore. And what I love about that, and we're going to talk a lot about it, is that because it's whether it's you're talking about anxiety, depression, how you feel about yourself, just your mental fogginess goes into menopause, all the things to obviously the stereotypical things that we think of when we think of mental health. So I love that it's such a broad term. I am going to say these things, the mental health issues in young women, that 26% of young women experience a common mental health disorder, and that 48% of ages 14 and 19-year-old girls have body issues. But I whipped out some statistics because I'm like, as wonderful as that is, because if we have young women that are around us, we need to know those statistics. But the majority of the people listening to this podcast are the women that are older, that are going through different things. So I just came up with, or I didn't come up with them. I went on the internet to get these, because again, this is not about Yvette and Geo. This is about what is actually happening out there. So 54%, well, first of all, women definitely are suffering from depression and anxiety more than men. That is a thing. I don't know the science behind that. I can just tell you, and I really think it's because we wear all the hats. We internalize so many things. And I think that nurturing part of us is constantly worried, consumed, and always thinking about other people, and which is the stress that comes in. So 54% of women, older women, are dealing with high stress. That's, like you said, that's half. 32 moderate stress, 44% moderate depression, and 80% are dealing with social dysfunctions. So that is literally anybody who goes, I don't want to go out of my house right now. I feel uncomfortable. A lot of people felt that way during COVID. I don't want to leave. To I don't want to go to a social setting. I don't want to pick up my phone. I don't mind when I am look on my Instagram or my social media, it affects me. So 80% of all women are being affected socially and feel that dysfunction within inside. That is a lot of people. That's 8 out of every 10 people, women you see. Here are their common concerns. Women's common concerns are depression, anxiety, having sleep difficulties, and binge eating behaviors. That one kind of surprised me. The first 3, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, because I'm in this demographic and I feel like this is what women talk about all the time. And this is because here's the reality. We're dealing with hormonal changes, increased life concerns. Our physical and psychological bodies are changing. Our mental thinking is changing. There's changes in our family dynamics, in our relationships. We're totally thrown off by life work balance, and we have financial stressors. I literally looked down, like, I want to throw my hands in there and go, yeah, so hi, that is why mental health is such a thing. It is.
Yep.
And when I say thing, I mean, I really want to say can be looked at as not positive, like I want people to have it, but I mean, you're not alone. And it's not because you're going crazy cuckoo or you're like, there's something wrong with you. It's because you are naturally going through these life phases. And I love that we're going to talk about some positive things or things that you can be doing and, or different ways of looking at that. But I just kind of wanted to bring in more of the older woman statistics.
And I think and also the women in our demographic have kids that were in that demographic. So when we learn about women, and we both have daughters in these age groups, like this is which is why I love the younger what can I think of this? Not demographic.
Generation.
Thank you. Because they're doing something about it, because they're
Yes.
already seeing issues and they're talking about it. They're being more vocal. I'm very blessed that my son was very vocal years ago in high school. And I mean, those are just some really hard times, but it's happening. And as a parent, we need to educate ourselves on it, because then that we can lower the statistics down for our daughters and our sons, so that when they get to our age, they're not, and I don't want to say that's a problem or a challenge, but that they are more comfortable with knowing where to go, how to get their resources, what to be doing day to day in their routines to help with the prevention, right? This is all being proactive. There's a few more statistics here. We don't have to go through all of them, but it's just really important because we talked about menopause, premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, like all that's happening. Ovarian cancer, PTSD, general female population, like all of this is all going into the mental health and other health conditions. Mental health and abuse. 53% of women with mental health problems have also experienced abuse. That right there, I mean, that's just, again, that's half of the women you know. So we just go back to and you just said a statistic earlier, like 80% of women have social anxiety. Like I know I have friends in my circle who are like, it's not that I don't want to go support you. It's not that I don't want to be with you and Yvette. It's not that they just don't know how to be around other women and other people. And thank you. Like, thank you for being vocal and letting me know, because it's not that people don't want to and don't take it personally, but we just don't know what the woman next to us is experiencing. So
Oh, I was going to say, which leads perfectly into what you were just saying. I mean, the next statistic, if 71% of women strongly agree, I'm going to say that again, 71% of women strongly agree that there is only a surface level of acceptance of mental health. Let's just think about that. It's like, here, I'll say this because I've got the gray hair coming in. Right now, it's like there was this trend of gray hair, younger people coloring their hair gray, whatever. On the surface, people could say, well, of course we're supporting everybody. Oh, girl, you do you. Oh, if you have mental health problems and you with your anxiety or depression or whatever, you go do you. But what that says is that 71% of those women have probably been around other women, other people, heard things on the TV, read, whatever, where there are still a majority of the people that still are not truly supporting it. And it's really sad that we live in a world where people can say something to your face, but behind the scenes, maybe they think something differently. I'm just going to say this. I am still very grateful that there's a high percentage that we can actually talk about it, because if we cannot keep talking about it and pressing that statistic down, I want to win. I want to keep the charge going and not go backwards. So even though that's not a great statistic and that hurts my heart, it's like, let's just keep moving the ball forward. And the next time you hear that someone is struggling, had an issue, went to a doctor appointment, had to go be excused from work, you took care of her kids because she had to go meet with someone, don't talk about them, support them, do it in a sincere way, and let's get that statistic down.
I agree. All right. So, I didn't take the little bullet points out. Oh, my OCD is going to go crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay.
No anxiety. Don't stress out.
I'm going to stress out about this. How to recognize burnout and take actionable steps. I mean, to recharge. And we talk about this all the time, the R&R. Like, we have to rebalance and recharge from work. Like, we do a lot, give a lot, and we couldn't do this year round if we just didn't stop and recharge. But and again, you're gonna be like, Gio, like, I know this. I know you probably know this, but this is why you're elevating your everyday. So real quick, headaches, muscle tension, fatigue, changes in your sleep pattern. How many times do I tell you sleep is so important? Emotional feeling detached, irritable, overwhelmed, experience lack of motivation. I'm sure everybody right now is like one of these, like two of these, three of these.
Or all of them.
Yeah. Difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, a sense of mental fog. Like, even I tell my husband all the time, sometimes I think he's not listening. It's not he's so tired. He's just so tired that it is literally mental fog. He's like, what? We did talk about it, but he doesn't remember. And then I'll let you read some of these other ones. The role of mental health in achieving daily success. Daily, not weekly, not monthly, not when you're having a really bad month. It's every day.
Okay, increase clarity and focus. When mental health is prioritized, it becomes easier to concentrate and make decisions. Absolutely. And I can tell you, I just went through this. And sometimes I can tell when I don't get good sleep, probably around 3 to 4, because people usually say, even with your bodies, your metabolism, how you metabolize food, to me, it goes beyond. I'm like, no, it's the sleep thing. And then all of a sudden I can stand there and go, wait, what was I just doing? But total mental fog. I mean, like, completely, like, so not clear. And it's frustrating, but you have to kind of go backwards and go, okay, did I do something that is creating that? The other thing improves your stress management. Mental health practice like meditation, journaling, that all helps regulate your responses to stress. I will add in there, especially for the ladies that we know that do breath work. That's another really great one because it's an automatic way you can decrease the negative stress that your body is immediately following in the moment. You don't have to wait. You don't have to hope. You just start breathing and relaxing, and all of a sudden your body just responds. So if that is you, I highly suggest meditation and/or looking into breath work. Sustained motivation. When you're mentally ill, it's easier to stay mentally well. It's easier to stay motivated, especially when facing challenges, which is so true. And the ones that I just said about the life work balance and financial stresses alone, just this should be your motivation. And it's the resilience in facing challenges. Prioritizing mental health makes it easier to bounce back from setbacks. Again, I know I said this in the last thing. I feel like I'm the walking example of this right now. I literally took the time off to move. That was a big stress. I can tell in my body, it's like the engine's revving up again. And it's like I'm going forward, but I can tell it's like that digress was a little bit harder. And now I'm getting back into it. But the bounce back is so much easier than I ever experienced before in my life with things. It's like other things that it just wipes you out. This is true, like I guess coaching confessions too. And this is where when you think about if it's meditating for you, journaling for you, private time just by yourself, if someone wants to take a long bubble bath, if it's reading, whatever it is for you that helps you come together, sometimes those things will change. And I'm just going to say for me personally, I notice it's almost like you go, I faithfully am having water again. So this is really great. Well, then your body goes, great, you're doing this, but now we need something more, right? I noticed that with my own routines. It's like my body went, you kind of got in a plateau, and this experience has showed you like there's even more, like me more craving other things inside, not more time, not that I have to invest more money, but it's like take it to another level, challenge yourself in something, bring, so that those setbacks aren't so crazy, or that when you do bounce back, you go, oh, that was a lot easier because I have so much in my reservoir. And I know last year with all the things that I was going through, I talked about that, how, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I went through this because I had so much in my reservoir. I noticed that reservoir, the base slowly was declining, and my availability to fill it back up was not there because it was like life circumstances kept going backwards. I'm a regular person, but we have to stop and notice that those things are happening to us. So now it's making those adjustments of what is it that's truly going to speak to my inner soul and for me, because I want to get back to the place where I'm just like overflowing, so much is coming out of me.
Yeah. And that goes back to episode 1, like starting and ending your day with you. The 5 minutes turns into 10 minutes, or turns into 15 minutes. And then you add on the layer of mental health and like, what does that look like for you daily? They're very parallel, which I kept a couple of slides from last week because I thought it was crazy. But just building a self routine, even with limited time, we get it. Most of you are like, Gio, I don't have 2 hours. I don't have an hour. I don't have 30 minutes. So go back to episode 1, start ending your day with you, figure out what that looks like. And then here's, again, micro self moments. You talked about the breathing. That you can do that in the moment, right? So even if you have 5 or 10 minutes, you've got to incorporate the self-care. You got to have some sort, again, you combine them. Because if you wake up and you journal and then you do meditation, those are both for you and for your mental health. When I say sleep, we're going to hold down the whole rabbit hole of sleep. Half of your life is spent in your bed. So it better be a routine for you. The sheets, your pajamas. Do you like taking a bath at night? The oils. Like, I'm all about the sleep life. Before my 20s and 30s, I didn't think so. Well, 20s, teens and 20s. But now I'm like, I cannot negotiate your sleep. Then your morning routine. We talked about that last week. You got to have that. To this morning, I wasn't running behind, but I gave myself some extra time to walk because the weather was so great. Like, I'm like, I want to stay out here. And then a digital detox, which was also in last week's episode. So they're very much parallel. And your phone, I'm honestly, I don't know if this is a statistic, and maybe I'm making it up, but other than spending half of your life in your bed, you're probably spending more than a quarter of your life on your phone. I would say that with that up. That is a time sucker. We talk about that in our relationship with time workshops with our clients. Like, your relationship with your phone is so toxic that you don't even realize it until you go to a retreat with us and we tell you to put it in a bucket for like 2 hours, and people almost die because, like, what do you mean I can't have my phone? Like, no, you cannot. Like, that is, you need a digital detox, and that's social media, computers, phones, the whole 9 yards. Ooh, I can do a whole episode on that. Okay, so some resources, because we always love giving you guys resources.
All right. So number one, I mean, this is the national one, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, NAMI, otherwise known as NAMI. They're here in the Houston area. They meet all over the city. They have all kinds of great plans. They have it for individuals, for parents, for families. It's a really great resource, highly recommended. The Mental Health America, it's a nonprofit dedicated to promoting mental health and providing resources. You have your traditional therapists and psychologists, which are licensed professionals that can help you with all of these things. Finding a calm or headspace, which is your meditation apps that promote mental wellness and provide insights into mindfulness and relaxation. This one, first of all, there are free apps. Don't think that you have to go find something and now you're on a subscription for $10 a month. There are, and I'll just throw it out there. Insight is one of my favorites. It's free, and they do have, it's a great introductory platform, I think, for any kind of, it's not just meditation. There's all kinds of things on there. And then therapy apps, which genius. I love the creative people who put these things together all in one platform for your therapy, which, by the way, the other thing that's really nice too is you don't even have to go anywhere anymore to go meet with a therapist. You can do everything online. You could literally set appointments, I mean, talking about being addicted to your phone, you could literally have all your apps on your phone, everything. So, and you can put timers on certain times of the day. But anyway, everything is conveniently provided. It's just doing the work to go find what works for you.
Okay, and I put this is from last week, but and we don't have to go through it, but just so you can go watch last week's if you didn't, or if you need a little refresher. But like, these were daily things to elevate your days for beginning and ending your day, but see how they coincide, like journaling, exercising, walking is also for any exercise, is for mental health, meditating, restructuring your day. We talked about balancing, like go through your month, go through your week, and then during your week, can you really do all the things that are on your calendar? And then rating your day emotionally, those feelings of like, when they're good, let's replicate those behaviors and those types of days. And when they're not so good and you're having a challenging week, you need to go back and know what that is. And then back to my favorite, the nighttime routine, just making sure that, again, you're ending the day with you and you're waking up with you, making sure you're getting a nice 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I won't go through that. They can go next week, but the non-negotiables, back to all the things that we talked about last week. But I left the slides up because I'm like, oh, they are parallel with mental health. All of this is all about mental health. And then obviously leaving you guys with an amazing quote: taking care of your mental health is a sign of strength and not weakness. So we cannot say that enough as YGC, but this is part of the relationship with yourself. And even if you don't have kids, there are people in your life, your partners, your spouses, your community, your family. You are literally an example. If you're doing it for you, other people are that's where the stigma goes away, right? If you're taking care of yourself, you're going and seeing a counselor or a therapist, or maybe you're on the app and you tell somebody else about the app, and then people see the changes in your life. Just that conversation of someone else doing it first is going to be the ripple effect for someone else. And I think that that's where we as women can help other women. Having the conversations, even if they're uncomfortable, saying, thank you for telling me, I completely understand. Here are some resources. This episode, right? Like sharing this episode on your socials, sharing it with someone that may be in need. This isn't just something that's, 2024, here are the statistics. The statistics are going to be there every single year, and hopefully we do an episode every year. But we want to see them change. We want to see them lowered. And we don't want to see 54% of women not being able to get support in the mental health realm, because that's half of the women are struggling right now with not being able to get mental health support. And there's so many tools and resources that are either free or at low cost. And if if you're watching this now and you're like, I don't have anyone to talk to, that's what Yvette and I are for.
I was just going to say that, I mean, I know people who've won the lottery, like let's say $50, $500, whatever. I don't know one person who's actually won the lottery. However, I do know people who have completely changed their life and made a difference. And over time, incorporating these things, they see a change. They've grown. The way they look at the world, which to me sometimes is like, that's priceless. Being able to wake up with clarity and confidence and less stress and purpose and motivation to get out of bed and go, I have something incredible to do today is priceless. You can't put a price tag on that. So we can't guarantee you're going to win the lottery, but we pretty much can guarantee that your life will slowly start to change if you develop these habits in your life and really pay attention to what you're thinking inside and feeling inside.
Yes. Well, we'll be back next week with episode 3 out of 4, which is another one of my favorites, the B word. We're going to talk about setting boundaries. Can't wait. So if you're watching us for the first time, thank you. We're on every week. Like I said, it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and exclusively on Spotify through video. And if you need to reach out to us, we're available through the DMs for the link. There's links in all the areas that you're watching. We're here to really help you and serve you. And then until next week, we'll meet again. Bye.
Bye.